Hi everybody. So today we're going to tackle questions that commonly appear in the multiple choice section of the exam. And the similar and congruent triangles question is really a staple of the CST exam. In these questions, they often give a model triangle and then ask which of the following triangles is either necessarily similar or necessarily congruent to the sample triangle given. We have this question here, which says Caitlin needs several similar triangles for stage direction, and her model triangle is given below, and that's triangle PQR in the image. I notice we're given 3 different sides and 2 angles, and we can always subtract from 180 to find the missing angle R. Now, there are 3 rules for similarity that we have to follow here, and they're side, 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 and angle, angle. Now remember, there's no rule such as angle, side, side, or side, side, angle. And so if you see that in one of the multiple choice questions, then that's definitely a no-go. The other thing is that for similar triangles, we're looking for proportionality. So the sides won't be exactly identical, but they should be identical in terms of their proportion. So let's have a look at the missing angle R just to start with here. So I'm going to take 180 degrees, which is the sum of all of our angles inside a triangle, subtract off the 46.5 that's given, and also subtract off 104.5 to find out what our missing angle is. And doing that here on my side, 46.5 and 104.5, I see that our missing angle is 29 degrees. So I'm just going to do it one more time to verify. And the reason I do that is I can see right here in question number 1 that they're actually giving a 39 degrees right here, which is not correct. So in other words, that this triangle here that they're saying would be similar via angle, angle is not correct because they've given 39 degrees and not 29 degrees. So we know that A is not the answer. Looking at B, we have a situation where we have side, angle, side, and enclosing the 104.5 degrees. And what you're going to do in this case is I'm just going to write option B over here so we can do a little bit of work. What we're going to do in this case is we're going to check to see if the sides enclosing the 104.5 are proportional to the ones in the given triangle. So notice the shorter of the 2 sides is 27, and the shorter of the 2 sides up top enclosing the 104.5 is 12, because you can see we have 12, 104.5, and 18. And so what I'm going to do is do a ratio. So I'll take 27 divided by 12, because it's the short side compared to the short side. And when I do that, I get 2.25. If I compare now the 32 to the 18, let's see what we get. We get 1.777. Well, basically 1.7 repeating. So in other words, the proportionality of the sides is not equivalent, and so therefore this option B is not similar. Option C, we don't even have to do any math here because I can see that they've given 2 sides and an angle, but they're not in the form side, angle, side. They're angle, side, side. And we're not allowed to do that. That's not one of the rules of similarity. So this one's wrong on its face because we can't prove for certain that the triangles are similar. Let's look at option D. And I really hope that there's an answer here. So we can do side, side, side so long as all of them are proportional. And so let's take our shortest side and compare it to our shortest side. So I'll go 12 divided by 8. And 12 divided by 8 is 1.5. I'm going to compare our middle side to our middle side. So that's going to be 18 divided by 12. And 18 divided by 12 is also 1.5. And I'm going to do now the last side, which is going to be 24 divided by 16. And we're comparing like sides from the model triangle. And it's also 1.5. So this one is correct. It is similar by S, S, S. Side, side, side. All three of them are proportional, which is perfect. I'm going to just scroll down here a minute and take a look at another type of question, which is a congruency question. The multiple choice section on the exam usually gives an option of, well, an alternation between questions asking about similarity and questions asking about congruency. So like, I can't emphasize enough that when you read the question, highlight the word in the question. Here it says, which of the following triangles is necessarily congruent to triangle PQS? Some exams will say necessarily similar, so just bear in mind that you have two sets of rules to deal with. For congruency, our three rules are side, 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 angle, side, and angle, side, angle. So we have to take our model triangle and see if those things apply. Now I'm going to look at option A and the triangle that I'm given. Well, a couple of things. Before we do that, let's find out our final angle inside the model triangle, because that's a known, like that's a given thing that is not under debate. So I'm just subtracting those off now, and we find that that's 41 degrees. So that's over here, which is great. Now I notice that I have this triangle here, which has 41 degrees, an 18, and a 59 degrees. I actually notice that this follows rule ASA, an angle, then a side, then an angle, and it actually does follow that it is the same 41, then 18, then 59. So this one could be our right answer. So I'm going to put a little check mark. Now I'm going to look at B. B is 59, then 18, then 80. And if I look over here at my model triangle, 59 and 80 are joined, but they're not joined by 18. And so therefore this one's wrong, even though it follows the rule angle, side, angle. Option C has 59 degrees and 18, and they do match the model triangle, but there's no rules for congruency that are only given two pieces of information. So they're not necessarily congruent because we don't have an information for this angle in the triangle that's given as an option. So this one's wrong because there's only two pieces of information given. Also, look at the one below. It looks deceptively correct because the 41 degrees and the 59 degrees are there, and some students might say, well, I can find the last one by subtraction and it's going to turn out to be 80. But only for similarity are you allowed to make a comparison using angles. For congruency, you have to have some sides there. As I said, there's no rules that have only two pieces of information. You'd needed angle, side, angle, or side, angle, side to make this a sure thing for congruency. So this one is also incorrect. So that leaves us with answer A, which is true by angle, side, angle. When you're doing these questions, just make sure that you're always taking into consideration the rules for congruency and for similarity, and that you're kind of shopping those rules and comparing with the given triangle in the multiple choice question. If you do that, you'll be sure to get this question right.